regardless, we got
$250 for a game.
Yeah, the base game. Yeah, he spent like $600.
Evan did?
Yeah.
$600 for a board game.
They still haven't even shipped everything. This was like a while ago. Like they've only gotten parts of it.
$600.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm beside myself.
It's gigantic. It's absolutely.
I don't care how big it is. It's one game.
Well, you do care how big it is and how much stuff you get if you're paying.
Well, sure, but $600. I better have like that's insane. Thing better take me to the moon. Well, anyway, okay. So topic of discussion number 2 involves what your thoughts are on Kickstarter and how it's affected the board gaming industry. So there's very controversial opinions on this one as well. And I think that it's really kind of interesting when you look at both sides of it, because there's valid points to both. So there's like the positive side of it, that it's kind of lowered the barrier for entry. I kind of wrote some things down. So it's lowered barrier for entry for new, smaller designers to kind of get their foot in the door, give them an opportunity to be seen. There's more access to gamers through Kickstarter. Like, you have input from your audience during the creation of it to kind of see what their input is and how you might change things. Chat's still talking about that.
There's a lot of controversy, man. I don't know. I'm following that one under protest.
Sure, we'll have to come back to it. I'm going to give you some another opportunity.
Sending a letter to the commissioner.
I'm the commissioner.
Yep, I'm sending a letter to you.
So you also can learn about new ideas from backers. So, just these backers can provide you with like, hey, look, maybe you do a spin of this or spin of that, and you just have more kind of communication with your audience or who you're going to be selling the game to. And then the platform of Kickstarter basically gives you an opportunity to advertise and build the interaction, to advertise and build interaction with the different products that are out there. But it shouldn't, I don't think that it should replace retail, traditional retail, obviously. Kickstarter is just another form of getting games out there and getting them known to the public. And then, the other positive thing is, like, you have to consider that, dude, 10 years ago, before Kickstarter existed, or before Kickstarter really was a big thing with board games, like, board games were very few and far between, and now the industry is booming with games. But then that kind of lends itself to the other side of things, is like, is it oversaturated? There's a lot of terrible games out there now because people are easily able to get games out there. So I don't know. What do you think? What are your thoughts on Kickstarter and board game industry?
I think it's great. It affords people the opportunity to make games that they wouldn't be able to get published otherwise, right? It's people, it's the main point of it is people forget it's not a store. It's the idea is it is helping these games get created. You're asking for people's help because they share in the vision. They want to see that this succeed, and it's great. What's not to like? I don't know anything about the publishing side of things. I don't know anything. We had our own little stab at making a game, which you obviously took most of the work and did most of the work. I just helped you like design it and whatever. We understood like a little bit of that. We talked to the guy in China for the costs and all that stuff. So like we have some very little personal knowledge on that. So I can't speak to that. I'm not a game publisher. I'm a gamer. I just play these things. So
sure.
From my perspective, it's great. It makes games happen that wouldn't happen otherwise. Personally, for my own personal taste and whatnot, I love it because you get to help these games get created, and then you get better components and you get it before it comes to the market, all that stuff. So, I don't have too much of an insightful thing other than my personal thing. I love it. My wallet, my bank account doesn't love it because I'm spending too much money on it.
That's what I was going to get to next. Go ahead. Keep going.
That's pretty much it. I don't have too strong of an opinion on it. Personally, I think it's great. It helps games get created, and I like getting cool stuff. So I'm all for it.
Sure. Okay, so I think one of the things that I've read about is how there's kind of like the people in the hobby that are big into Kickstarter and big into board games, they have FOMO. They fear their fear of missing out on
that's a huge thing. Yep.
whatever comes out, thinking like, oh, well, I'm not going to get the Kickstarter version. Well, then I don't know if I'm going to want the game, because you're getting this better game for it now, even though you have to wait a year to possibly get it.
And frivolous, and I am completely guilty.
Yes, so am I. I mean, I kickstarted probably like 6 or 7 games last year, and you know, only like 2 of them maybe do I like love, you know. So there's also that crapshoot.
I've had a couple duds, yeah.
But yeah, so it's kind of like there's like this thing. People are trying to make games based on miniatures or components that are enticing for the user, and that's their draw, when maybe that really shouldn't be the draw. Maybe the draw should really be heavily invested in the mechanics and the you know, the gameplay and stuff. And it's not to be said that there aren't games that come out that have good mechanics and are good games, but there are a lot more out there where people are like, well, look, my game has 50 plus miniatures for this, you know, XYZ, whatever the game is. And, you know, that's what they're showing off to get people to buy it. And then they end up being $100 to $150 for you to buy it. And that just like, it's kind of, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
On what specifically about like the elevated price points and the I think a lot of it's overly extravagant, overly gaudy, and not irresponsible, because people can do whatever they want with their money.
Of course.
A lot of it's unnecessary. Like that Batman Gotham Chronicle, or whatever, not Gotham, whatever it's called, is absurd. It's like you're never going to get through all that. It's just. And the Simon is famous for it too. Like recently, Rising Sun. Like but some people, but listen, like who's anyone to say what someone should or shouldn't do? Like in that respect, if that's what people like, if they like those big figures, and if they're going to reappropriate those figures and use them for other games, why the hell not? I personally don't have an issue with it. Do with your money as you see fit. I'm not, you know.
Look, I mean, there's a one for it. Look at what Frosthaven just did. It had the biggest Kickstarter to date.
Was it bigger than? Yeah, I guess must have been the biggest. I mean, it makes sense coming up with
it's in.
What was Kingdom Death Monster? Kingdom Death Monster was really big.
Frosthaven just did a Kickstarter, and
like 12 million,
they
right?
Raised. Let's find out. Almost $13 million. They had 83,000 backers.
What did Kingdom Death Monster do?
Kingdom Death Monster.
Yeah, do you have that here? I'll look it up.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Okay. I know that was a big one. Evan did that one. I have no interest in playing it. I'm never going to play it.
Oh, I remember you telling me about this.
Or Kingdom, whatever the hell it's called.
Kingdom Monster? Is that what it is?
It's Kingdom Death Monster. It's Kingdom Death : Monster.
Kingdom Death.
Yeah, I thought that was the biggest one.
I don't see. Maybe I'm putting it in here wrong. Oops.
Yeah, I just looked it up. It was 12.4 million. Kingdom, that was the Kingdom 1.5.
Death?
Yes. Kingdom, space, death, : monster. Okay. Kingdom, space, death.
Oh, wait, this is the organizer. Darn it. I clicked on the wrong thing. Sorry, guys.
Anyway, whatever. Yeah, I think Gloomhaven just passed it. That's what it was.
Here it is. Okay. Yes. Oh, you did show me this. And it had 2 million. Yeah. It had 2 million.
No. It was much more than 2 million. It was 12 million.
That's what this is showing right now. I'm looking at it now.
I'm looking at it. I brought it up. It's Kingdom Death Monster 1.5. It was like this, I guess, the second release of it or whatever.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm looking at, the first one, because the first one has 2 million.
Kingdom Death Monster 1.5, 12.3 million, 12.4 million.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Right, but
$12.4 million for that, and what is the draw for that? Because there's lots of
it's a giant production, huge figures, tons of content, you know, and a lot of people like the game a lot. You know, it's
what kind of game is it?
It's so the map itself
like a dungeon crawler type
blank, kind of. It's almost not RPG, but like it's this weird fantasy future post-apocalyptic, disgusting world.
Oh, it says cooperative board game set in a nightmare horror world. Fight for your life, scavenge.
As you can tell, not my style.
Yes,
no, it's like disgusting. Like I like some of the art, like Evan, I like some of the art. I'm just like, ugh. Like I look at the art and it like grossed me out. I'm like, I'm not into this.
Right.
But yeah, That was the biggest one. Regardless, we got
$250 for a game.
Yeah, the base game. Yeah, he spent like $600.
Evan did.
Yeah,
$600 for a board game.
They still haven't even shipped everything. This was like a while ago. Like they've only gotten parts of it.
$600.
Yeah,
I can't. I'm beside myself.
It's gigantic. It's absolutely.
I don't care how big it is. It's one game.
Well, you do care how big it is and how much stuff you get if you're paying.
Well, sure, but $600. I better have like that's insane. They better take me to the moon. That's crazy.
Yeah, people paid for it and did it.
But so Adrada says something interesting. He said it's a sad part about these board games is that they become collector items that people keep to sell later on, and they don't even play them.
Yeah.
And that's true. Yep. It's true. It's like a bargaining thing. It's like, I've got this Kickstarter version of the game. You want this? That's shiny and pretty.
Yeah, it's a shame. But then, if you wanted it, you should have Kickstarted it. But I don't know. I don't disagree. And people do it with lots of things. People do it with Nintendo things when they come out. They buy them just because they know they're going to not be enough made, and they're going to sell them for a profit. And because you can't find them, like they're
there's collectors. People are collectors.
People did it with toilet paper, assholes. Like no pun intended. Like they did. That some guy got he got arrested or something. Like he had like thousands of dollars worth of toilet paper.
You're talking about I don't know if I heard one for the toilet paper, but I did hear about the guy that took he bought all this hand sanitizer in like the area.
That too. Yeah. It's absurd.
The FBI came after him. Like,
asshole.
Yeah. A lot of people. It's like actually they're talking about when new systems come out. Like Duke said, he bought a new Xbox 360 when it came out, and he made $2,500. Like that's
$2,500 for Xbox 360
when it probably was. Remember, it was really limited to get your hand on them. I remember that.
I never heard.
I didn't know you could get that much. I've heard of like $800, $900, almost $1,000 for some of them when they were first coming out. I remember that more so for I don't know if it was. I think it was the new Nintendo.
The Nintendo Mini.
Wii. Was it the Wii? Yeah, it was the Wii, I think.
Oh, Wii, absolutely. That's the thing. Nintendo stuff, they always, first of all, they know how good it is. And they've got to be doing this on purpose to create some kind of demand for some long-term plan. They have to know because they are sitting on like
because they're capable of producing enough of them.
Yes. And yet they always do it. They're always hard to find. And I think that's intentional.
It generates talk and buzz and interest. And and it's smart. It's kind of like smart advertising in some manner,
I guess. So Nintendo things always do that.
They always do that. Yeah, you're right. I agree. That's pretty crazy. But so let me just keeping the topic on Kickstarter. I know this is relevant, obviously, what we're talking about with these other games and people buying them for collector's items and stuff. But so how many Kickstarter projects are you currently waiting for? Do you have any still you're waiting for? And how many?
I have my list on my spreadsheet. Actually, I tell you right now. I am waiting for from oldest to newest things that I have not gotten yet. From going back a couple of years, I haven't gotten Title Blades yet. That work placement, fantasy little setting looks cool. Yep. I haven't gotten my Anachrony expansion yet.
That's another one on one.
This was all. I really started doing a lot of Kickstarter stuff only in the last couple of years.
I know.
Anachrony expansion. I'm still waiting for that. Still waiting for Dinogenics. Did that almost a year ago, I think. That is a better version. Apparently, I still haven't played it, but I trust the guys at the Secret Cabal podcast. And they always rave about it. And they say it's so much better than Dinosaur Island, which I know you didn't like the only time you played it, and I didn't really like it. I thought it was an okay game. I actually sold my copy of that too.
Dino Island was not my favorite. No,
sure. I liked some of the mechanics, but yeah, Dinogenics is a much more traditional work placement game where you're you're doing more of what you're supposed to be doing. The same idea, whatever. I'm waiting for that. With the expansion and everything, I spent way too much on that one. Merchant's Cove, which this was definitely a FOMO thing. Merchant's Cove, it looked awesome. Should I have spent $120 on it? No,
what was the name of it?
About it.
What was the name?
Merchant's Cove. Merchant's Cove. Yeah, it looks phenomenal, and I got it. I'm getting all the characters. It's basically this it's a worker placement thing where all these different meeples come in on different boats, and they're randomized when you hold them out of the bag, and different meeples want to go to different things that they act differently, right? And you're trying to attract them to come to your your merchant or whatever. Now the crazy thing about it is every different player controls a different merchant that is you're playing almost an entirely different game. It sounds and looks absolutely awesome. And
you spent $120 on it.
Yeah, I think it was like $120, like after shipping and everything.
I hope the components look like they could be cool if they do.
Yeah, it looks great. I'm gonna be happy that I have it, but at the same time, I just saw it and I'm like, oh, it's ending in like a day. Okay, I back it, and I'm like, really? Yeah. Like I'm probably gonna get this for over a year. I don't know that much about it. I could be buying 3 games that I know, 4 games more that I know and I can play right now.
That are out now, right?
Yes, and I'm just like, maybe I should. It looks really good. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah. So there's that one.
It does look cool. I agree, but there's something to be said for that, and it goes to show you, it's Kickstarter is feeding upon people.
I was like, man, why did I do that? But I think I'll be happy when I get it.
Yeah, I'm sure you will be too. But like you said, it's funny. It's interesting because Kickstarters are usually most successful in the very beginning when they're first launched, and at the very end when there's only like a couple days.
Even if I know I'm backing something, and I probably should back it right off the bat, I always wait till the last minute to back it for whatever reason. I don't know why. Because I always click the save button so that it reminds me in 48 hours. I never do it in the beginning. I don't know why. I probably should because
I don't do it in the beginning very often. Well, sometimes you want to do them, and there's incentive to do in the beginning because they have pledges where it's cheaper for the people that come first. You know, like they'll do like first early bird special, whatever, for getting the and then they're successful that way. But yeah, it's just interesting because I don't know if it's preying on people's like, I don't know what the word would be for it. Like their addiction. It's like you're addicted to buying these games. Now that's not their fault. It's not the designer's fault.
It might be some psychological thing or some moral wrong thing with that, but I don't see it. I don't see it either. This is an entertainment thing and a collection thing, and if it makes you happy, it's your money. It's not this person. Right. It's not this person who make this Kickstarter for Merchants Code. It's not his job to make something affordable for you. If you want it, you can buy it. If you don't, then you won't. It's.
Agreed. I agree with you. I agree with you. Okay, keep going.
Now I can't wait to play it. Actually,
it looks cool. It looks
really good. Yeah.
It kind of reminds me. Maybe I'm just thinking of it because of the boats, but I'm thinking of Champion of Midgard from like the boats and like the section at the bottom. Or this is on the top.
Sure, but the boats in this are.
I'm sure it's completely different.
Yes.
Completely different. Not even remotely close. But go ahead. Continue with.
I'll tell you more about it when I get it.
John said it's a toy store for adults. That's what it is.
Kickstarter? Yeah, absolutely.
Basically.
Sure, why not?
There's other cool things other than just board games on there too. I've backed a couple other things that are sweet.
No, I haven't.
Overboard said, "Who was it that bought a board game from a company that made that broom?"
Oh, wait. That's a reference to something. What the hell? I know vaguely.
I'm not sure I follow, but he knows.
Oh. I don't remember the name of it. It's a story. It's a new story. So the other ones I'm still waiting for that I haven't gotten yet that I backed. So Nocturnian is one of those games that I backed that I actually didn't like. I actually quite disliked it the only time we played it. Right. Like I looked at Evan after I learned it and we started playing it, and he looks at me and he like kind of like squints his nose or whatever, and he's like shakes his head, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like this either. And like I felt bad because like Stephanie, who we were playing with too on that Friday game, she was like, "What, you guys want to keep playing?" We're like, "No, let's go play something else." So but the components were great, and I'm stupid because I sold the game and I should have just kept the components because they're like incredible. So the next Kickstarter thing I did was I rebacked because that's what everyone loved about that game, where the components were absolutely amazing. Did I show them to you? But that's like the best components. They were Kickstarter components or whatever, right? So like instead of gold, like little gold nuggets, they're these like heavy metal gold balls.
Oh, I love that.
I
love that.
It's like these little like squishy little looking globes that are like these wizard like orbs, or like they're awesome. And the coins, they're the most gorgeous metal coins. They're like heavy, really nice.
It's like
so
the
I backed,
coins,
like the coins, etc. Just so I'll use them in different games or whatever.
Right, it's like the coins in Raiders of the North Sea. There's coins from the Kickstarter.
I take my Raiders coins because I didn't get the Kickstarter of Architects or Paladins. I take my Raiders coins and I have them in like a little, those little dishes that I bought from Amazon. And I rubber band them up and I bring them with that game and I play them with that instead.
But that's a perfect example of people wanting to back games for the components. Like,
it's really unnecessary, but
but it's crazy. Jamie Stegmaier did something where he came out with like a component box. He Kickstarted a component box like a while ago.
Yeah, it was like 2 years ago. For culture and for Scythe, he's got his Yes, Stock. There are Raiders coins that are to die for.
They are
No,
incredible.
Raiders, the base game comes with them. The retail version comes with them.
The retail does come with them? Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I forget.
Yeah,
Well,
not the retail,
when you got Architects, or when I bought Paladins, one of the two, I bought Paladins and Architects together when I backed Paladins.
Yes.
And I got an extra bag of coins because I wanted to just have more. So
Yeah.
they're like weighted coins that feel so good in your hands. I don't know why, but it's just
they're nice, but they're the Lisboa
not as nice
coins,
as the other ones.
Those Lisboa ones I used to remember, those are great too. They're amazing.
Sure.
I cannibalized my Lisboa for I can't remember what game I played recently.
Okay.
But like I was the one guy Phil anyway, he was like, "Oh, you're cannibalizing Lisboa," huh? And I'm like, "Yep, I love these coins." But the Nocturian coins are even better. They're like incredible. Like it was called Up Your Game on Kickstarter. You can like see them. They're so heavy. They're great. Anyway, other Kickstarter I'm waiting for this one. I cannot wait for. You've only played this game, the prior edition of this once, I believe. And I don't know if you loved it, but I think you liked it or whatever. It's Stronghold. So there's that Stronghold is the game. It's a 2-player only game.
Yes.
One player is the humans, and the other player is the
there's a couple different versions, right? There's one with fantasy style, and then there's another one, I think, like a different style one too, maybe. Am I wrong about that?
At any rate, so the Stronghold had that first edition, then the Stronghold second edition, which is the one I got, is it's a great game. Danny and I played it like five times at least. I love that game.
Yeah, I enjoyed it with you, but it's not my preference, you know.
Sure. I think it's a great big 2-player game. Not as good as Rebellion, which whatever. But Stronghold Undead was a Kickstarter, maybe like 6 months ago or so. Maybe longer. I don't even know. Actually, I can tell you because I have my spreadsheet. It was I did my survey or whatever on January 20th, so January 11th. So it was probably done, around 6 months ago, 7 months ago. Anyway, it's a new version of the game. It's a brand new game with tons of your undead army instead of an orc army. Right. It's a brand new game. Right. Same idea, it's a brand new game, but also it can you could boost your in the base game of Stronghold, the orcs, goblins, and trolls, they all have to feel the same, right? They're these cubes in a bag. They're these tiny little cubes. You pull out 14 per turn or whatever. For them? Yes. So now when you still do that with the cubes because they have to be all different, they have to feel the same, so you can't know what you're pulling. But then once you get them, you get like 50 orcs, 50 goblins, 50 trolls or whatever. That's cool. And you replace them and put them on the board instead. So it's gonna look so nice. Yeah, I can't wait for that. I love that game.
I think that's part of the draw for us. Like, remember when we used to love playing Warhammer back in the day? It was like having this big army on the table just looked cool. It was just
yeah. But at the same time, like when we didn't have our figures and we were kids,
we would play with other stuff. Yeah.
We would play other stuff, and we would also, if you remember, because you had what's that as like an index card. We used like an index card and put like 5 skeletons on the front of it, and then 5 skeletons on the side, and say that's 25.
Yep.
Or whatever.
Well, because we didn't have the money to pay, $50 for an army of 1 unit of skeletons, which was when you were 13 and 14 years old. It was totally functional, absolutely, and that's what matters. But it would still have been nice to have had all the components. It would have been, and also painting them and having them look really cool. There's something to that. I went into a Games Workshop store, like I think it was like probably 8 months ago or so. Now it's been a while, but when I went in, I almost got back into Warhammer Fantasy simply because people were there playing with ridiculous. Well, they've changed the game completely. But they had some ridiculously cool miniatures on the table, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like I was dreaming about it.
Yeah, I mean, who was the time, right? But like the like when you had your painted guys. Remember Necromundo? We had our painted guys. It like I loved it. Like I still have, I still remember we took them out of your dad's basement or whatever. I have them behind me, and boxes above me. Like I want to like bring them out. I don't know, but the other Kickstarters. So I have Kanban. They're re-released, the new version of that. Which is so funny that like I love Vital Server now, and I've still never played the original Kanban, even though Mitchell, a guy from one of my game groups, he's like has it, and he's always trying to play it, and I didn't even realize it was a Vital Server game for the longest time. But so I have that coming, and then Viscounts of the West Kingdom, which I played 4 times in like 3 days.
I have that is one of my Kickstarters too, which is December.
I love Shem Phillips' stuff. Yep.
Shem Phillips is my favorite designer at the moment, I think. So.
I love his games. I think they're great. They're always neat spins on standard mechanics and whatever. Yep. That's it. And the last couple months, like I said, I've been trying to be like
A little bit more selective.
Because what the hell? Like, I don't know when I'm going to play all this stuff. When am I going to be able to go every week and see friends and play and
right.
So that's it. I do have a couple, however, that are right now saved. Let me load it up right now. That I might back, and I'll tell you if I do. Like, I was trying to let you know.
This is interesting. While you're looking that up, so Draws mentioned, is there something like a Shark Tank for board gamers, like a rich board game designers or investors?
No.
That's that.
I thought about if someone went on Shark Tank with a board game.
Oh yeah.
I backed Secret Cabal. That doesn't really count, but I threw them some money. And I'll finally
I thought about doing that for Shut Up and Sit Down. Those guys.
Yeah, I didn't do it for them I didn't do it included last year. But yeah, Secret Cabal. I love the Secret Cabal. I really do.
Yeah.
So I
gotta start listening to them too, because I know how much you love them.
It's great. I should go meet. They're like a half hour like a couple or an hour west.
Away. Yeah.
Yeah,
he lives near Stock. Stock's a big fan too. He just said Secret Cabal supporter here.
They're awesome. They're the best. I told you there's nothing better. I absolutely so Stock will do this if he listens to them too. When they do the Secret Cabal or the short topic extravaganza and they all just make those noises, it is I die every time. Yeah. It's like they're going like they're making all these animal noises all together. These are grown men; they're a couple years older than we are even, and they're and then a couple of them refuse to do it too. And it's just they're all dying laughing every time they do it. They do that, and now they have another one for they go back in time for games of yesteryear, and they pretend they're in a time machine. It's hysterical. But anyway, they just did yesterday. I listened to the one from the last episode, the last big episode. They did something called the feud or the Family Feud version, where they picked a few Secret Cabal Kabbalists, whatever, people who are followers and on their forums and everything. And they were they had teams of people so they have Rodney Smith from Watch It Played, the best.
Rodney's the best.
So he's they're best friends with him. They whenever they have Origins and Gen Con, all these meetups together, they always stay with him or vice versa, or whatever.
Sure.
So he was he's a guest on them anyway. But the whatchamacallit, so he say he's on there too. So they were doing Family Feud where they pulled all these Kabbalists and said, all right, which did the Kabbalists say is the best one? And they're ripping each other. You should listen to it. It's great. But anyway, Maharaja, that's one. Actually, 9 days left on that one. So I haven't looked into this too much. Lawton just mentioned it to me. This is done by some of the designers that we love. I think is it Luciani?
How do you spell it?
Luciani. What's that?
How do you spell it? M-A-J?
Maharaja. Maharaja.
M-A-H-A-R.
So this is A-J-A. Maharaja. So it's similar to Luciani. So as we're getting more and more into this thing, we're starting to know developers and whatever, right? He's you know some Luciani,
yes,
Grandmaster Rodell and whatever. So this is another Kickstarter from he's one of the designers for that. So it's like a
one of you guys in chat able to pull that up?
Maharaja. Anyway,
I'm putting it here,
but did.
It's not popping. Oh wait.
I'll link it to you here. You're on Steam, right?
I put Maha in there, and then
I don't know. It's all good. Whatever.
Raja,
so that one. I'm trying to think what else.
Oh, here it is. Wait, is this it? I got it. Yep.
Yeah, I haven't looked too much at it into it yet.
Thanks,
it's
for some reason
it doesn't look like the biggest Kickstarter, but I I love the game designer, and I'm willing to take a look at it. So that's what I might be backing.
Sure. Well, and that goes to show you the importance of reputation in this industry. If you have
absolutely
a good rep, people will go out on a limb and buy Kickstarters from you because
I know next to nothing about Kanban, but it's Vital Lacerda, and it's this giant new Kickstarter.
You're selling, you're creating cars or something. It's like, okay.
I know. I know the theme of it, but I don't the mechanics and
Well, sure, but you just know that you love Lacerda enough that you trust whatever he's going to come out with to be good.
Yeah, I mean that's the case of anything, right? The biggest video game that I'm looking forward to is, as you probably know, Cyberpunk, right? I cannot wait
September, right?
Because it's the freaking Witcher people. Yeah, probably. That's
exactly.
I trust you. Here's my money. I'm in.
Right. Reputation is everything, and there are a number of designers out there that you're just kind of yep, I just trust what you're going to do is going to be, right down my alley, or I know what to expect, quality wise, gameplay wise, and it's just going to be good. So you're willing to take that risk, and you might not even love it as much as some of the other games that you have, or other games out there. It might not be as good as you were hoping, but it's still, I would, even if like let's say we hadn't played Viscounts of the West Kingdom, right?
Yeah.
And thank you to
we both backed it as soon as we heard about it.
Like, we backed it right away. But and then we played it. I would still buy or back the next game he comes out which is going to be what's it called? Raiders of Sight. Oh gosh.
Sorry, what's your question?
It's not a question. I'm just saying I would back his next game, regardless of whether or not I liked Viscounts.
Yeah, because I trust him. Yep.
Because of Raiders, Architects, and Paladins, he has my trust. Raiders of Scythia, thank you, is the new game he's coming out with, which is supposed to be comparable. Yes, and it's supposed to be comparable to.
Your name's Scythia?
Yes, it's a new genre or a new style for him too, which is different. But it's supposed to be very similar, I believe, to Raiders of the North Sea.
Cool. I'm interested.
So he said we should. Overboard said we should play Circadian's First Light next time, as it's the same artist as Raiders of Scythia. Okay, yeah, I'm down to play that for sure. Very cool, man. Yeah, there's so many different games out there on Kickstarter, and Kickstarter can be really beneficial to the industry, that it's giving people an opportunity to like get their names out there. But I think it's up to the user to figure out and filter through what's good and bad. It's up to you to how you want to spend your money, like you've been saying this whole time. And people that are up in arms that it's like bad for the industry because it's saturating them with bad games. Bad games are going to come out regardless. Look at the games before Kickstarter. There's so many terrible games out there. So many terrible games.
There are now like thousands of games that come out every year, which is way more than there were before. So yes, but like you said, just do your research. Go to designers that you trust. Go to read up on them.
Yes,
there's thousands of bad things in many things. Sure, yes. Like I agree, that's saturated, but okay, that's whatever. Whatever. Yeah, that's the case in a lot of things. The UFC is saturated because there are too many fighters on it now. So there are a lot of guys like, what does it really mean to be UFC level and mixed martial arts anymore? Okay, well then that's up to you. Like, that's up to you. Then don't watch the beginning ones if you don't want to. I still will, but yeah, you get the idea.
Yeah,
it's I don't disagree, but I don't. I also, this is the wrong way to put it. Like don't like I don't care. Like I'll buy what I want to buy, and I don't see anything wrong with it. And if somebody wants to make a game, they're trying. If it's not good, is that bad for the board game industry? Not really. Why? Right. Because that one person made a bad game. So don't buy from that person again, or understand the risks. And
exactly. Yeah. All right. Cool. I like it, man. I think that. So we both kind of
there might be some big economic impact that I don't understand. I'm not an authority to make that call. So I understand that there might be something with Kickstarter if it's bad for the industry. And
sure.
I don't know. I can't make that call.
Well, you can still have an opinion on the matter. I mean, everybody's got their opinions.
Sure.
I think overall it's a positive influence. That's just my take.
I think so. I agree.
What do you guys think in chat? Yes to Kickstarter or no to Kickstarter? Very cool. I enjoyed talking about that, even though it's not like anything that I might not be as passionate about that as like some of the other topics we've talked about. But I really think that there are a lot of people out there that are like they have very strong opinions about Kickstarter.
Sure.
A lot of people seems like they saying in chat that yes to Kickstarter. So within reason.